We'll now cut across to the Fortis Healthcare con call, where the management is talking about the latest decision to demerge its diagnostics business into a separate entity. Remember, that's what Varinder had first broken. Take a look.
The board had given conditional approval for unlocking value in the SRL business. With that said, I'm pleased to share that today the FHL Fortis Healthcare Board of Directors approved a demerger of its diagnostic business into a separately listed company, and the details of which are as follows. In the approach that we're going to be using is that we have the Fortis Healthcare business and we have the diagnostic business, the SRL business. What's going to be happening is that the demerger will be in such that the SRL business will be coming out of the Fortis Healthcare entity and will be moving to a new entity. Today, as you may be aware, we own and we operate Fortis. There's a Fortis Muller entity that is publicly listed on the Bombay Stock Exchange. The SRL business is going to be shifting to the Muller entity, and the SRL business will eventually, that entity will go from being the Muller hospital business to becoming the SRL limited business. There is in that Muller entity, there is a hospital business there. The hospital business is being sold. Fortis Healthcare is buying the Muller hospital business for 43 crore. With that sale taking place as this transaction is concluded. We expect this to take the next 9 to 12 months to conclude. The specifics on this are as follows, very, very quickly, that for every Fortis Healthcare shareholder, for every one share that a Fortis Healthcare shareholder has, they will receive 0.98 shares in the new entity. So again, for one Fortis Healthcare share, they'll receive 0.98 shares in the new entity, the Muller entity, which will then be referenced as the SRL limited entity. For the balance, you're aware that the SRL business, Fortis Healthcare owns 56% of that. The balance 44% is owned by investors. That investor group, for every one share they have, they will receive 10.8 shares in the new Muller/SRL entity. That's going to be where the business will be housed. We think that in its simplest fashion, we think this is very good for the business. We think it's good for the Fortis Healthcare business. We think it's good for the SRL diagnostic business. You're all aware that both businesses enjoy a strong brand presence across India, a very strong and loyal patient base, and both businesses have a tremendous brand presence. We believe that by virtue of doing this, that moving forward, it allows both businesses to move forward independently with greater focus and the ability to continue to grow each business and continue to do well. As I just mentioned, this is going to take about 9 to 12 months. We think this is a good outcome for the business. We think it's good for the shareholders. One of the outcomes here obviously was to unlock value, and we believe it does just that. So again, at a very, very high level, Fortis shareholder, for every one share receives 0.98 shares in the new entity. The balance investors in SRL, the 44%, for every one share, they receive 10.8 shares in the new entity. The SRL business, as it stands today, is going to be shifting to the Muller entity. The Muller entity, the Muller hospital that's there, the Fortis Muller Hospital, is being purchased by Fortis Healthcare for 43 crore. And I think all the way around this makes a lot of sense. We have complete support of the board. The board has approved that today. And the due diligence and the work will start on it, and we expect the transaction to complete in the next 9 to 12 months. With that, I'm going to ask Anurag just to walk through some more finer details of the transaction, and then we'll open the line up for any questions that you might have. Anurag?
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall take you through the brief steps in the composite scheme of arrangement and amalgamation that we formed. Please remember that this scheme is subject to all regulatory and statutory approvals, including those from the stock exchanges, our creditors, our shareholders, and the jurisdictional high court. Also, please appreciate that given the common nature of such transactions, there are certain regulatory restrictions in what we can disclose and cannot, so please bear with us on that. I shall take you through the three main steps as outlined in the composite scheme of arrangement and amalgamation. So what we will do is the Fortis Muller's hospital business would be sold via a slump sale process to Fortis Healthcare Limited. What will be remaining with Fortis Muller would be the existing diagnostic business and certain investment that it has in its books. For the hospital business, Fortis Healthcare would pay a consideration of 43 crore rupees to Fortis Malar. More importantly, please note that this 43 crore value is only for the hospital business. For the calculation of the swap ratio, the entire value of the Malar entity comprising of the hospital business, the diagnostics business, and its investments will be taken into account. This value has, we've got PwC as a valuer who's recommended a certain value, and this value has been approved by the board of directors today. As a second step, the diagnostic business undertaking of Fortis Healthcare, which includes its investment in SRL, will be demerged to Fortis Malar, and Fortis Malar, in lieu of this, would issue shares in the ratio of 0.98:1. What this means is that for every one share held by a Fortis shareholder, he will get 0.98 shares in Fortis Malar. As a result, Fortis Malar will issue approximately 51.2 crore shares to the shareholders of Fortis Healthcare. The last step, as outlined in the scheme, is SRL, which is now held under Fortis Malar, would be merged with Fortis Malar. As a result, Fortis Malar would issue shares to the other shareholders of SRL. And please note that the other shareholders of SRL are the non-Fortis shareholders, accumulating to about 44% in SRL. The share exchange ratio for this would be 10.8:1, which means that for every one share held by the other shareholders in SRL, they would get 10.8 shares in Fortis Malar. What this turns out to be is Fortis Malar to the other shareholders in SRL would issue 37.8 crore shares. As a result of all these steps, Fortis Malar, which now incorporates the diagnostic business undertaking, including SRL, would have a resultant equity base of 91 crore shares. And more importantly, for Fortis shareholders, what this means is that for every 1% shareholding in Fortis, they will have a 0.56% shareholding in Fortis Malar, because as you know, Fortis Healthcare was holding 56% in SRL, so that ratio has to be same for every Fortis shareholder. To sum up, the resultant structure will see Fortis Malar being renamed as SRL, and the shareholders of the new company will be as follows. The promoters would hold a 40.6% stake in SRL, which is Malar. The public of Fortis Healthcare Limited would hold 20.8%. Fortis Healthcare, through an indirect holding company, FHSL, indirect subsidiary, would hold just about 1.3%. And the balance, 37.3%, would be held by the public shareholders of SRL and Malar. You guys have got the press release and the presentation. The pre-transaction structure and the post-transaction structure is also outlined there, what I just spoke about. And both these documents are also uploaded on the company website. So that's, in a nutshell, the composite scheme of arrangement and amalgamation that we have.
Thank you, Anurag. We have about 10 minutes for questions and answers, so please go ahead. Kindly identify yourselves and then ask your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove your
question.
Oh, you press star and 1 to ask a question. Turning your back.
Sorry?
Handsets while asking a question.
Star 1.
We have the first question from the line of Darshan Mehta from ET Now. Please go ahead.
Good morning, good afternoon, sir. Just wanted to ask in terms of, because if you take what has happened with the Fortis Malar, the market cap is 106 crores, you've taken out 46 crores. The back calculation probably gives an indication. If you value SRL and Fortis diagnostic business together, you're valuing SRL at close to, your stake at close to almost 3,100 crores. Is this something that you've taken? What kind of valuation you have taken, and what is the multiple for SRL?
The number that you said is broadly in line, but as regarding the multiple, I think we will not be in a position to disclose the valuation. What I can tell you is that PwC, who's our valuers, has taken a methodology of market multiples and DCF and then come out at a value. But what broadly that you have the number in mind is broadly correct.
So you're saying that you're valuing your stake at 3,100 crores, which would mean that overall SRL would be valued close to less than $1 billion. Am I right? Hello?
I think I'll leave that for you to figure out, please. There's not much that we can say. Like I mentioned in the earlier part of my call, there are certain regulatory disclosures that we have to follow, please.
But you can't give an indication of what valuation method was followed.
No, not at all. I'm sorry.
So what's the difference between the SRL business and the diagnostic business of Fortis Malar?
Just repeat your question, please.
What is the difference? Because Fortis Malar already has a diagnostic business. SRL is a total diagnostic business. What is the difference between what Fortis Malar diagnostic business does and what SRL does?
There is no difference. See, what we've done is we've left the diagnostics business in Fortis Malar to make the diagnostic business as one entity.
Okay. So
Fortis Healthcare, which had its diagnostic business, is now moved to Fortis Malar, which is now remaining with the diagnostic business.
Okay. And what is how have you valued this 43 crores that you've taken as a hospital that you've transferred on a slump sale basis?
So this is based on a DCA valuation, again done by PwC. They had recommended a range. The board has just finalized a number. So this is basis that. And I want to reiterate again that the 43 crore value is only for the hospital business. This is not the entire Malar value.
Is any debt transferred?
No. There's no debt. There's no debt in the hospital business of Fortis Malar.
There's nothing there.
No.
So what is the residual business that will be there in Fortis Malar? It will be only the diagnostic right now, and then SRL will be transferred there at a later stage, right?
Yes, diagnostics and some investments, and then the SRL business, as you rightly said, will be transferred there. That's right.
So is there any debt that will come in SRL as such?
No.
Okay. And what about the timeline for the entire thing?
So this will take about 9 to 12 months. This is entire process that has to go through various regulatory bodies, creditor approval, shareholder approval by the High Court. Then there'll be a record date that will be set by the board. So it's a 9 to 12 month process.
Okay. And in terms of, you said that there were some investments as far as, Fortis Malar is concerned. Can you give us an indication of what this investment is?
Okay, so there were some investments that Fortis Malar has. If you recall, sometime back, Fortis Malar had sold its assets to the Religare Health Trust, of which Fortis is sponsor of. So there was some money that it received, which has made its investment there.
Now in terms of just SRL, you have the diagnostic business also and the imaging business also, which is not doing well. What's your strategy to revive that?
Darshan, I think that for the purpose of this call, we're happy to answer all these questions, obviously. But I think that we just want to open it up, and Darshak, if it's okay with you, I want to make sure that we get the opportunity to take any of the questions we might have. And again, the long-term strategy in terms of what we're doing with SRL, separate conversation, happy to have it, but probably not on this call.
Okay, we will definitely get in touch with you. Thanks.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Sushil Kotian from CNBC Abbas. Please go ahead.